Join me, and together we will unravel the mysteries of the world during Dr. X's Half Hour of Power.
The more enlightened our houses are, the more their walls ooze ghosts. That's Italo Calvino, an Italian author. And I'm Dr. X of Dr. X's Half Hour of Power. And I am honored to have best-selling author and all-around good pal, Mr. Bryan Spellman, here with us this evening to pull back the curtain from the mundane and usher us into the fantastic. Bryan Spellman, welcome to Dr. X's Half Hour of Power.
Well, thank you for having me, Dr. X.
I'm interested in your tales. Could you start us off with your experiences with the supernatural?
Yes, started at a young age. I've always been a firm believer. Uh, I believed in ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot. I heard stories and from my grandmother and from friends, and you read those books. But it wasn't until I got older that I actually started experiencing those things. I remember quite well this one time. We were up at a cabin. I went with my friend and his parents, and we went for a boat ride. It was just me and my buddy, and I was probably in eighth grade, maybe high school, and it was just me and him in the rowboat, and we were rowing out on this big lake in upstate New York with lots of islands in the Adirondacks, right?
Beautiful.
And oh, it's beautiful country. And we were having fun and we were stopping at islands. We were jumping off and we were running around. And, just a couple of, you know, teenage boys got there having fun and making fires and doing all those things. And it was getting dark and we were heading back. And there was one more island that we really wanted to go. And I was rowing. I was the big guy, right? I wasn't the big guy, but I was the baseball player and the swimmer and the wrestler. And he was
They're muscles.
Dom Muscles, and Dom was the smaller guy. So I was rowing, and we're rowing towards this island, and uh, we're going this way. So I'm facing this way, and he's sitting there, and he's looking over my shoulder, and he just starts to get this look, and he's just like, "I don't like this island. I don't want to go here. I don't want to. I don't want to go here." I'm like, all right, whatever. Come on, it's one last time. He goes, "No, I don't want to go here. Turn around, turn around." And he just gets this look, and I just start rowing and rowing and rowing, and I'm going off to the side because I know which way, the island's over here, so I know I can go past it this way. And look at that. And he looks right over my shoulder, and I'll never forget this because we were young, so we were like in eighth grade, and he just goes, "Jesus," right? And I pulled so hard on those oars, I popped the rivets on this thing. And I jumped out of my seat and I grabbed the oar and I just started paddling on the front like it's a canoe. And we finally got back to shore where the cabin was, and he didn't say anything, right? His dad was so mad that we broke the boat, and we went into the house and he didn't eat. And he was all pale. And I was like, "What did you see? What did you see?" And he just wouldn't say anything. And we woke up the next day and we left. We had 3 more days left on the trip. And he just went to his parents and he told them that he couldn't stay at the cabin anymore. So I don't know what he saw, but after that, that was it. I was square in, firm believer. I think it was Bigfoot because we were up in the area
Ah,
in the Adirondacks. There's a lot of different sightings up there. For years, I camp all the time. I was a scoutmaster and I camped all the time, but I heard a lot of things in the woods, but I never saw. And to this day, I am so glad I didn't turn around to see what he was looking at because the look on his face, but he was, whatever it was behind me. And I'll just never forget that. So I was a firm believer, started doing my research, started watching the shows In Search of Leonard Nimoy, started reading those books, talking about all the different cryptids that are all around and all us. And fast forward a couple of years, a bunch of years, and I'm living in upstate New York. Well, upstate to the New Yorkers, right? I'm living in Westchester County, right?
Sure.
Yorktown Heights, back in the 80s, and I'm working at a gas station, so I'm 17, right? I'm in high school, and I work at a Texaco station. We used to get all sorts. We were right off the Taconic Parkway, right? So you're coming up out of New York City, you're heading up to the capital area, right off the Taconic Parkway, and FDR State Park is right there. That's the exit. Taconic goes right through it. That was my gas station, right? So it's dark over there all the time, right? There's no lights, lots of good seeing the sky. And used to get all sorts popping in because they're coming out of New York City, and they're ringing the bell, and I'm running out there and I'm washing the windows and I'm checking the oil and filling the gas, right? And then you do the credit card, and they'll give you a couple of bucks. Um, at one time, this car comes flying up like fast, right? And I'm sitting there in your little booth. You got the glass window, you got the boss's office behind me that was always closed, and they hit that thing, ding, 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 right? They come over that little rubber strip that rings the bell that knows somebody's out there. So I go to jump up, and these two guys jump out of the car, and they come running straight for me. So I'm like, what is going on? What is happening here? Right? I'm ready. Right? There's a baseball bat off to the side. I know what's going on. I know there's cash in the register. Right? I'm ready. And they come running in. They're like, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they go, turn off those lights. And I'm like, what? And he goes, up in the sky, turn off the lights. So I run over to the power panel. I open it up and right, I kill the outside lights. The Texaco light goes out. The pump lights go out, and they go running outside. So I go running out, and we look up. This was 1983, 84. Three lights, circles in a triangular pattern, just slowly moving across the sky, like stars, like the sky disappeared in between the lights, right? You could see the night sky, you could see the three lights, but in between those three lights, black, nothing. Scared. I saw that. I ran back in. Boom, 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 boom. I turned them all on, and I ran into the boss's office, right? Because we got the key, and that's where the safe is, right? Got the key, unlocked the boss's office. I said, "You guys need gas?" And they said, "No, no, no." And I'm like, "Good, I'm closed." And I went inside that office and I closed that door till my shift was over. I heard them leave. I didn't hear anybody else for the rest of the night. I
My
just sat in
word.
that office with the door closed. 2 days later, 2 days later, I'm coming home from my baseball game. Right, you played Babe Ruth. I played baseball, and I'm there. My dad's there. My brother's there. I'm the oldest of four. Right, there's six of us. Right, I'm four of my parents, and we come up the driveway, and everything's black in our house, right? We're gonna, it's Westchester, it's upstate New York, so we got like, I don't know, we had like 3 or 4 acres, and the house is back from the road. And we come driving up with the headlights, and all the lights are up, and we thought that was weird. And my mother comes flying down the driveway towards us, like yelling at my dad, where are the keys? Where are the keys? We can't get in the house. We can't get in the house. And he grabs the keys she grabs the keys from my dad, and she runs back up. And my sister is up by the front door, and she's shaking, and she's just crying. And while we were at our ball game, they were at her soccer game, and then it got late, and they went to come home, and they saw my mother describe the same exact thing
Oh boy.
that went over our house.
Wow.
Apparently, there were tons of sightings during that time, and there was actually a big accident on the Taconic State Parkway at that time, where motorists saw it and they weren't paying attention, and they crashed into a tractor trailer and they stopped traffic a little bit up north from there. A couple of weeks later, it was in all the papers, and they had the Daily News and the New York Post had pictures, the artist rendering and everything. So yeah,
What year would you
yeah.
say this took place?
I'm gonna say, so I was in high school, so I was working, so it was probably 85, 86.
Classic.
85, 86.
If I were to remove both
Yes.
this,
Oh yeah.
if I were to remove both this members only windbreaker and the turtleneck, you would see the dense patches of hair on my arm standing on end right now. What a wonderful, well, I don't know if it's wonderful, but to have your rest of your family experience what you did is uncanny.
Oh, and I didn't really say anything to my parents because I was that guy, right? So I loved science fiction, and I read my comic books, and I read Heinlein, and I read Tolkien, and Arthur C. Clarke and Pierce Anthony. So I was all in the fantasy sci-fi stuff, and it would have been okay, yeah, all right there, Brian, you're okay. Yeah, okay, yes, that's what you saw. Of course, that's what you saw. And then my sister saw it, and woohoo. She explained it. They explained it exactly how what I saw, and I had never said anything to them.
And you were
That was
validated.
more freaky. I was definitely validated. It is out there. There were things out there, and I've been looking through the stars ever since. Um, Now go forward more. So you wanted ghost stories as well. Um, I got two for you.
You are a venerable buffet of the
So,
supernatural, Mr. Spellman.
well, the first one I'm not sure of, but the second one I'm definitely sure of. The first one was I was in college, so I was upstate New York, SUNY Oswego. I know you know somebody up in the Watertown area.
Absolutely, that son of
So
a
we're in
gun,
Oswego.
Brian Shutter.
Well, uh, I'm at Oswego, and the Warrens come. So you might know who the Warrens are. Some people might not. They are a married couple. There's been a lot of movies made about them, The Conjuring, Annabelle, all that stuff. So I got to meet them. I got to meet them. I got to talk to them. I got to hear some of their stories. They played recordings. They showed film. Like, it wasn't on video back then because I'm old, but it was on film, right? So they would sat in an auditorium, and they showed film of different things, hauntings that they had did in or investigated in England, and here in America, and they had artifacts and everything. Enthralled, right? Totally in on it, totally, eating it up and everything, and listening and paying attention, right? So a couple of weeks later, I'm in my dorm room, right? It's Saturday night and everybody's out. It was a Saturday night and I just wasn't feeling it, right? I was like, "Oof, all right, I partied a little too hard on Friday. I was done. Had a good Saturday. Everybody was going out. I'm done. I'm going to bed. Right? They all go out. I watch some TV, play a little bass guitar, a little practice, a little, probably went downstairs and went role playing. Who knows? Right? I remember falling asleep. I remember going upstairs, and I remember getting into my bed. I remember locking my door and
Mm-hmm.
going to sleep. And I hear the door click clack, right? And I'm half awake. And I'm thinking it's my roommate, Paulie, right? So I'm like, oh, hey, Paulie. Doesn't respond. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't like say it loud or anything. I was just like, hey, Paulie, right? And we're in those lofts. Remember
Yes.
how those lofts were, right? So So like my bed is here and his bed is up here,
Yes.
right?
The old
And I'm
college
down here
dorm stack.
sleeping. Yeah, so my head's right here and his bed is right over there, right? And I hear it, right? I hear the bed, right? And I kind of feel the impression of his body like right up behind, right? And I was just like, oh, I go back to sleep, right? But he's there. I can hear him. I can hear like sleep, like the sounds that your roommate makes when they sleep. I just hear sleeping. I fall asleep, and then boom, 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 banging on the door. Oh, so Jesus Christ, what the hell, right? I'm like, oh my God, Paulie, what the hell is this? And I get up and I walk over to the door. The lights are off, right? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I unlock the door. And I throw open the door, and it's Paulie, my roommate. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, oh, I locked myself out. I said, how the hell do you lock yourself out? He goes, I forgot my keys. I left my keys. I go, you didn't leave your keys. I said, what did you do? Go to the bathroom? He goes, what are you talking about? I've been out all night. Get the hell out of my way. I'm drunk. I want to go to bed. And I go, stop shitting me. Don't bullshit me, dude. You came in. I said goodnight to you. You went up bed on top. And I turned around to look on the bed and nothing's there.
My word.
And right next to the bed is Paulie's dresser. And right on top of his dresser are his keys.
Ooh.
Right.
Spellman, you
So I
dog.
don't know. I don't know if it was a little too much partying on my end the night before and I dreamt it, but I swear it was the realest dream I ever had. The realest dream I ever had.
Wow.
So finally, I'm all in, right? I believe this stuff. I have woken up every night for the past 30 years at 3:15 a.m.
To this day.
Don't know why, to this day. To this day. This morning. This morning I went to bed last night and I woke up this morning and I cracked my eye open and there it was, 3:15, and I turn over and I go back to bed. Now that I'm older, I use that as an opportunity to use the restroom and go, but 30 years, 3:15. I'm awake, I'm wide awake. I see what time it is. There was a period there for like 2, 3 years where I refused to look at the clock because it was really freaking me out. It was really freaking me out because I was waking up at the same time every every night. It is absolutely insane. So, handful of years ago, I'm like I said, I was involved with the scouts. I was a scoutmaster. I made a lot of friends. You sit around the campfire with the adults, and you guys start talking, and we do. You're sitting there and you're telling ghost stories. Oh, I've heard ghost stories, right? I've heard good ghost stories. I've heard funny ghost stories. I heard scary stories. Some real, some true, some made up, whatever it is, right? So we're there, and I make really good friends with one of the other adults, Dave, and we're both true believers. And he comes to me one day, and he's like, "Hey, let's go to Louisville and let's go to Waverly Sanitarium.
Oh boy.
Have you ever heard of Waverly?"
I certainly have heard of it. I have not been brave enough to venture forth inside.
And I said, "Okay, let's visit. What is this? We'll go down. What is it? A Saturday?" Blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Oh, no, no." He goes, You're going to have to take the day off from work. It's a Wednesday night. We're going to leave here after work. We'll leave here around 6 o'clock." And I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" He goes, "We leave here at 6 o'clock. We get down there. We could have a nice dinner. We got to be at Waverly by 11 p.m.
Ooh.
They close it down to, well, they have a gift shop and they do daily tours and all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "No, no, no. They shut it down. Everybody leaves. They have an investigation team that we will go into Waverly from midnight to 7 a.m. I said, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "No, I'm not kidding." I said, "Okay, okay, let's do this, right? All right, let's do this, right?" So we go and we go down and to his wife and her friend who are also believers. With the four of us go down, right? We have a nice dinner. We get there, we walk around, right? You buy the sticker, you look at the books, you buy a T-shirt, whatever, and then like they start ushering everybody out. And there's a handful of us. I don't know, like 10, 15 of us, and they shut everything down and they grab us and they're just like, okay, here's the deal. We're going to take you on a guided tour. You have to listen to us 100%. We cannot guarantee your safety if you do not listen to us. It's like, all right. So we go in and they set us up and they're like, you can bring whatever you want. You want to bring flashlights. My buddy brought a tape recorder, a digital tape recorder. He wanted to do some EVP work, right? So we go around and we're doing EVP work and we're looking and they're showing us all the different areas and they're talking about who's in this building and what floor and who does this on this floor and what ghost does this on that floor. And we're like, okay, so we're walking around. So first thing happens is a bunch of us are out there. We're walking down the hall. There's like a group of us, maybe like 8 of us or something. And this one guy comes flying around the corner, one of the workers there, and he grabs us and he goes, "We need to go into this room right now." Right? It was just like, "Oh, okay." We go into the room and he goes, "We all just need to stand here for a second. The spirit on this floor is not happy." And everybody, and he goes, "Everybody just needs to stand here." Now, my buddy, big guy, right? Big guy, right? And he's like, "Oh, man, no, no, man, I'm going out there." And he's like, "I wouldn't go out there." He goes, "I'm in here. I work here. I'm in here. I wouldn't go out there." And Dave's like, "No." He goes out the door, right? So he disappears. He goes out the door and he goes down the hall. And the guy looks around and he goes, "Who does he belong to?" And I was like, "Well, he's my friend, but it's her husband." And he looks at me and he's like, "Well, I wouldn't send her out there, but I'm not responsible for anything that happens to him. He needs to be convinced to come back in here." And I go, "Well, if he's not supposed to be out there, why you sent him me out there?" And he goes, "Well, poke your head out and try to convince him." And I go to poke my head out and he's heading right at me, right? Right? He's heading right at me. And he comes right past me. And the guy looks at me. He goes, "Good job." I said, "I didn't do shit." I go, "He just came running at me." It's like, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know. Something hit me." And he's a
Physically.
big dude. Physically. He said, "Something hit me." I said, "Okay. All right. We're just going to stay in here." So night goes on and they're telling stories and all this stuff happens. So we're on our own now. So it's me and him. And we happen upon these three young ladies. They're from Louisville University there, right there. They're the Cardinals or something, right? And they glommed onto us, right? So we're walking down this hallway, and my buddy's in the front, and it's an active hallway. They said this is the most active hallway. We're the only ones in there, and he's doing his EVP work, and he's up front, and we're walking. And I get this feeling, and I'm like, and I'm towards the rear, so Dave's in the front, and there's a girl up there with him, and then there's the two girls, and then I'm kind of in the back. And I get this feeling, and I'm like, ah. And I turn around, and Waverly is built like a V,
Mm-hmm.
right? And at that V is the nurses' station. So you could see from one end to the other from the nurses' station, right? You can't see all the way through because of the curve, but you could see if you're on this end, you can see the nurses' station. If you're on this end, you can see the nurses' station. So we're all the way down here at the end of the hall where they said there was a lot of activity, especially the night before. There was an apparition and people saw stuff. Right? And that's my buddy was like, "Let's go there." I'm like, "Okay, like you already got beat. I'm scared to death, but let's do this." I just had this feeling and I turn around and I'm looking straight down and it's dark and it's, whatever time it was, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm looking down at the nurse's station and Dr. X, I see somebody peek their head
Oh boy.
out of the nurse, just a black form, peek their head out of the nurse's station. And I hear this sharp intake of breath. And this young woman who was with us, when I stopped and turned around, she turned around too.
Ooh.
And she saw exactly what I saw at the same time because she grabbed my hand. I almost went to my knees. She grabbed it so hard. And I said, and then it was gone. And I said, you just saw what I just saw. And she said, did you see something down at the end? I said, did somebody look out the door? And as soon as I said the door, she went, and
Oh,
that was it.
wow. Wow. A manifestation, a true
And
manifestation in your eyes.
a true
Validated,
manifestation right
validated
before
by,
my eyes.
validated by somebody you did not know.
Oh, I had no idea who she was. I to this day, because we took a moment and then boom, she grabbed her friends and boom, they went. And I looked at Dave and I said, Dave, I think we're calling it a night. Let's go find a place to just chill because we got to drive back up to Indy. It's a couple hour drive and I still got to work tomorrow. So I'm done. I'm done.
You made it out alive with a tale to tell.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
we
despite
did.
despite your reputation as a raconteur and seductive gigolo, I believe you. I believe you, Bryan Spellman. My, what a trio or quadruple of tales you brought to this show this evening. I sincerely had goosebumps through several of those. They're out there. You believe, don't you?
Certainly are. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
The good, the bad, and the Waverly.
Oh, yes. I won't go back there. I will not go back there.
This has been a
If
very
you come out,
yeah.
if you come out, I'll take you there and sit in the car.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I might have to take you up on that, Bryan Spellman. Dr. X is looking for some field trips, so everybody out there in the land, let me know. I'll hop into my El Camino and make my way wherever the spirit moves us. Well, Bryan Spellman, please tell the audience about your masterpiece that is held in high regard in the WHPA TV13 community.
Well, I write what I know. I wrote Make It a Fairhaven Night, which is a location zine for Weird Heroes of Public Access by the Reverend Joey Royale. It is the Video Paradise, a video rental store that I went to back in the 80s and rented every movie there. It's filled with a unique cast of characters. And we also have a couple of different story prompts in there and random tables, Night of the Living Rentals, and now I can't remember the other one. Be Kind Rewind. Oh, no, Be Mine Rewind is the other one, and it's just tales of love and woe and VHS rental culture and. If you live through the time, you'll love it, and if you didn't, you'll get to experience it fully. So it was great making it for the system, and people are enjoying it and running it, and already working on a sequel or two. So be on the lookout.
I lived it, I read it, I loved it, and it has a place on Dr. X's VIP mantle of respect. So well done, Bryan Spellman.
Well, thank you.
Bryan, from the moment I met you, you've been a gentleman, a true friend, and a wonderful pillar of the Fairhaven community. all of us thank you for your nonstop good vibes, as the kids say. Thank you for your time this
evening.
It's been a pleasure. And I'd love to have you on again. Be careful out there, Bryan. You've touched darkness. Well, that concludes a very colorful Dr. X's Half Hour of Power. And thank you to the station for allowing us this time. WHPA TV 13, Fairhaven. Good night.